back again with probably a full playthrough, unless I've totally lost my skills. A full playthrough of Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. All 6. So, thank you for joining me on this journey. I did try, I found a color patch for this game. It sort of makes it look like it's being played on a Game Boy Color, but it didn't seem to work, and so and then I checked to see. There is no game sound yet. This is just the demo. I'm just running through these emulator settings just to make sure there's not like a built-in color dealy. But I don't think that there are any color dealies, unfortunately. But that's okay. Sometimes it's cool to play it just like it originally was back in the day. So, anyway, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins from the Nintendo Entertainment System. Let's fire it up. So right from the beginning, if you've played any Super Mario Land 1, you will notice a big difference in that Mario looks like Mario more or less here. In Mario Land 1, it was a Mario game in name only, pretty much. The Mega Man games for the Game Boy I found to be quite difficult because the sprite is so large you can't see a lot of what's going on the screen, and you had to memorize a lot of the patterns. I bought a lot of boxed Game Boy games when I was living in Korea. I actually had a Game Boy Light, if you can believe it. And if you don't know what a Game Boy Light is, it is a legitimately released backlit original Game Boy. So if you can imagine a Game Boy Pocket that has a backlit green and yellow screen, that is the Game Boy Light. And I sold it not long after I returned to the United States. I probably should have kept it, but I mean, there are so many options for portability. I still haven't found anything that can quite beat the PSP in terms of comfort and versatility, ease of use of putting games on there, battery life. So in this game, Mario, because obviously he can't change his colors, you get a little feather in your cap when you shoot fireballs. You can also, you've got the spin move from Super Mario World. Oh yeah, I had that too, the magnifying glass. Mine also had a miniature joystick that would somehow get involved in play too. But this game really took the best of what Super Mario World did and brought it as best as could be done to the portable. You even have these little skill challenges where you ring the bell at the end. Little mini game here. Laird's Lair has just put out a documentary on the last Spectrum ever made. So I'm going to watch that a little bit later. Mech suit for the Game Boy. I remember there was a thing that Nintendo Power reviewed called a Work Boy. And it turned your Game Boy, it came with a little keyboard, and you have a date book and stuff like that in there. So these are all the different worlds. You got your Mechanical Mario world, your Turtle world, your Halloween world, your Lunar level. your mini world. So this is a very well fleshed out game, and this is the way that Mr. Nuts should have been. Just give me a mini map that shows me all the different places I can go, make all the worlds different, and I'll be happy. Have you got any more high scores picks, or have you yet to beat the one that you posted? Don't think I'm gonna go back. I'm not gonna go back to the well. Especially when you showed me that trick about how to look awesome by freeze framing right in the right pose. Oh. The handy boy. Alright, I will check it out. $19K. You're a machine, Pix. Cha-cha-cha. You know, the more and more I think critically about the video games that I play, the more I realize just how much the music means to me. Which is funny considering that we do a Spectrum show, and I sort of give the Spectrum a pass. But if I don't like the soundtrack, or if I do like the soundtrack, it makes such a big difference on, you know, to whether I enjoy the game on the whole or not. So in case you missed the title of the game, in this game, when you beat each zone, you get a golden coin. I believe that Wario has stolen the golden coins, and you're trying to get them back, and I think you fight Wario at the end? I don't know. I have not played this game since it was almost new, but I do remember I was able to beat it, and so I should still be able to beat it. Yeah, the pyramids level, the birds on the pyramids level, that was where I bid the game a fond farewell. I'll take a rabbit suit. Oh, cool. Thanks, Asifa. So this level is interesting because you go into this like gelatinous type stuff. I guess it's supposed to be like tree sap, but it sort of can help you too. You can float in the air with it and stuff. I remember I used to go visit my friend Logan, and he lived out in the country, like even more than, you know, Aaron and I, we live in a rural state, but we don't live in a rural part of the state. This guy, oh shoot, I shouldn't have given that up. He lives in a rural part of the state, and when he loses electricity, it's usually out for a long time while the officials come to fix it. And I remember we were out without power for like a week and a half one time, and we just had tons and tons and tons of batteries, and we would just play Game Boy all day long. And that was what we did. We were awesome. This was usually in the winter during like Christmas vacation, or when it would snow heavily and somehow I'd get stuck over there. Checkpoint. You know, the Game Boy got a lot of interesting ports. It's much like the Spectrum in that regard. It actually got a James Pond game. I was wondering if it got a port of Outrun. So I'll have to remember to check for that. Oops. I guess, you know, before, it's sort of interesting that there was never really a portable designed in the UK, right? A portable system. Of course, in the States, we only had the Lynx was designed in the United States, but everything else came from Japan. There wasn't like a portable Osborne or something, was there? Oh, okay. The Vega, yeah. Who could forget? Who could forget? Give me some 3 up. This is the last of the old Pulteney that I believe Graham Vedpe sent us. So we are deeply appreciative. Boy, I forgot just how uncommon the feathers were to get, or the rabbit ears. Didn't make it. Hey, Free Lunch. How's it going, man? Welcome, welcome. You know, it's funny. I was just thinking about this music. My students, who, I mean, at this point, the Wii is 10 years old, right? The Wii came out in like 2000. No, the Wii's more than 10 years old, right? Didn't the Wii come out in like 2007? Anyway, the Wii's real old. And my students will still pick out on their instruments, they will pick out that Wii channel music theme and play it. And so it has staying power. This is a blind jump. If this was the Amigos or the ranking of Amiga platformers, we'd be running into trouble. I'm not even sure which way I'm supposed to go. It's a double blind jump. Okay, I guess I was supposed to go that way. 2006, yeah. Boy, the Wii was... It's hard to believe that the Wii is that old. Back to the beginning. It'll be interesting to see as we move into... do you guys track prices on more recent console generations? Like, have PS2 games started going up in price recently as that sort of age starts to come of age where they have disposable income and are interested in collecting games? Yes, that's what I want. Now we're ready to rock, as long as I don't die. Now we just fly to freedom. But this game also follows the Super Mario World convention of making it very easy to rack up large amounts of lives. So when you do run into a challenging stage, you don't automatically get frustrated and have to game over. What are the top kind of sought after PS2 games? Pixels. I definitely do not want that thing. I think this might be a level where you're following a set path. Oh no, you're not. Okay. Oh yeah. So you want to. Oh, it's a checkpoint. It's kind of jumping. I would think that there are probably some like obscure fighting games that are expensive on the PS2. Maybe some of the role-playing games like Suikoden or something like that. So this is actually very similar to a lot of the Addams Family bosses. Except I think this guy only has one pattern. Really? Wow. Rule of Rose. I've never heard of that. So, of course, PS2 is really, well, really it was PS1. No, I don't know. There's a lot of games that I don't know about, like the complete catalog of. Yeah. I imagine once you get into the PS2 era, just the amount of games that were made prevent anything from being really, really rare, and therefore, although when you look at prices of N64 carts, you know, they made a lot of those, but they're very desirable, some of them. I mean, I guess I consider desirable anything that's selling for its original MSRP or above. I would consider to be on the rarer side. Anything that's appreciated in value. Hey Picard, how's it going, man? Again, great little jaunty tune here. Kind of Calypso inspired. Nope, did not make it happen there. That's got to be a secret ending, or a secret. I feel like I've done that before. I can't remember exactly how to do it, but there are secret. No. There are of course secrets in this game. Like I think you can go into that sub. That's where you go. Just like Super Mario World. That's cool. You know, the Paper Mario games I've always wanted to get into, but it's so hard for me to stick with any role-playing game. I did play the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, the Bowser, the Inside Scoop, or where you actually go inside Bowser. And, of course, that was when I was in England. That was the last time that I really had... it was a combination of having not very many things to do and not very many places to go and no money. So I had lots of time where I was just sitting around in the old uni hall. And completed that. And I also completed... one of the games I can't believe ever got a sequel, which I loved, which was Rocket Slime for the DS. Man, Rocket Slime is great. Like, that was so much fun. You had a Game Boy, Picard? I don't know if I want to go that way. Maybe I'll just go this way. Ah, the old sister stealing things. I know how that goes. Actually, I don't. I stole everything from her. We had kind of a family Game Boy. Well, I got a Game Boy first, then my sister got one. My sister, I think, actually got a Game Gear. I think that belonged to her. Of course, I commandeered that. But we didn't. I think we only had 2 games for it. For the Game Gear, I think we only had Sonic 2, which I think it came with, and then we had a Pac-Man puzzle game, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was Pac-Man, but it was not Pac-Man. It was a puzzle, like a Tetris type thing. It was called like Pactris or something like that. I don't know. Well, 1 out of 3 is good. Actually, I can't speak to the Simpsons game, but if Home Alone is anything like the other Home Alone games that I've played, it's not great. Pack Attack. That's right, Amiga Bong. Stuck in some kind of maze here now. Oh, there's no going back that way. Did you, Picard? We were just talking about that earlier. I was just, Pixels was just, extolling us of his adventure of downloading the new, SNES pack. And, Hasifa was throwing out some pics. And, I was talking about how, come, October 31st, I will become one of the Switch owners. That's when, Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming out. Nope, don't want that. Yeah, you know, the 20 new SNES games that were just released for Nintendo Switch Online customers. Yeah, you gotta pay the $20 a year to have access to those. Yeah, I think it's just the convenience of having them on the Switch, plus there's online play if you're into that. I don't know. Pix, is there... I can't remember what you guys were saying. Are there any extra modes? I guess there's online leaderboards. If any of that stuff means anything to you, but... There's a million ways to play these games already, for sure. Oh, jeez. I'm losing all my powers. Down to 16 men. There's a big guy. But I like this sort of gelatinous structure of a lot of these indoor places. Online play and save states, okay. Yeah, it just kind of depends. Like, you know, you can't beat the Plus service for the new games that you get. It would be super, super awesome if at some point in the future Nintendo would do, you know, a similar thing. But Nintendo just values their game properties too highly to give anything new away for free, I think, unless it's a purchase with a new console. But I'd love to see them do like an indie pack where you get, you know, a PlayStation Plus type thing. That would be super cool. There's all kinds of things. If Nintendo gave me a job, I'd have plenty of ideas for them, and absolutely no way to implement them. I just come up with the ideas. So this is your machinations world. I never played Breath of Fire. Free Lunch. Is that a action, sort of like Secret of Mana-esque RPG? Oh, I thought I could jump on that thing. I cannot. Anybody catch any of the end of the Ashes? Australia reigning supreme yet again over the hapless British team. I listen to a cricket podcast almost every night, which is the perfect thing to help me fall asleep. And I say that in jest and also not in jest, because I like to listen to it, but it's just something about the guys droning on about cricket, a sport that I don't know much about, and they've got these lovely presenter voices that are all nice and smooth, and I just drift right off in the dreamland. Interesting. Yeah, I know that there's Secret of Evermore was a, you know, it was kind of supposed to be along that same vein too. Can I slide over? Can I do it? Oh yeah. There we go. There we don't go. I don't know. You know, these are just different kinds of games than the Amiga style platformers. You know? It's really hard for me to make an objective judgment, but I just enjoy not being lost. I enjoy being guided. And some people don't, and that's cool. You know, some people like the exploration angle of platformers. But I like it. I like cool mechanics. I like stuff like that rotating thing. I don't know what that thing does. It just looks neat. Okay, so these are things you can only get to from below. But it's amazing. I mean, this is the same 4-channel sound chip as the NES. And, you know, you get such a variety of sound effects. The music's great. You get some slowdown there. That's one thing I will admit you rarely see on the Amiga platformers is slowdown. Most of them don't suffer from that. I really think that that's just about all the consoles brought. Well, no, I take it back. You know, if you're talking about games where consoles consistently outperformed their computer counterparts, I say it's twofold. It's your platformers and your sports games. And if you include fighting games in there too. So if you were a fan of any one of those three genres, you were very much encouraged to make the switch. And of course, sports games were, although, you know, I'm thinking about it from my American perspective. Because when I think about, you know, sports games that were on the classic or on the 16-bit computers, all of the football games and the baseball games were not very good. Now, you had stuff like Sensible, but I mean, when did FIFA really start making inroads? Did it start making inroads in the 16-bit era, or was it not until PlayStation, where people, you know, started to bid adieu to Sensible or whatever Dino Dini game was big and start playing Winning 11 or FIFA? What do you think, guys? Yeah, Street Fighter, I'm sure, sold a zillion consoles for Nintendo, and they were first to market with that, too. They beat the Genesis. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure, surely at some point, your average soccer fan was going to turn away from Sensible and start playing, you know, FIFA or is it Winning 11? Was that the other? There's something like 11 something, right? That was the FIFA competitor. That's true. That's true. Maybe if the Amiga hadn't died, then the soccer question, you know, might have just maybe FIFA would have come out for the Amiga, because I mean, there was definitely a bigger install base at the time when FIFA started making games in the 16-bit era. Yeah, Pro Evo, yeah, Winning 11, yeah. Okay, let's see if I can skillfully do this here. Oh yeah. What would you say the second best-selling sports titles are, aside from football, in the UK? Do you think cricket is second? Or is there a sport I'm not thinking of? Or do you think that, like, the NBA is so big that you think that NBA games outsell cricket titles? Probably not, right? Yeah, I'm sure if you count racing games, that you know, that definitely would outsell anything other than soccer. I was thinking about, like, just normal sports, though. Speedball 2, Speedball 6, you know. It's the infamous Lego level. Huh. I wonder where they do sell picks, because they certainly don't sell in the States either. Maybe they're just designed to be limited market releases. Golf? Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Kim Justice recently reviewed a new snooker game that I've been sort of curious to try out. Yeah, NHL 94, one of the greatest games of all time on the Genesis. 3 little pigs. Let's take them out. Real easy to do if you have firepower. Not too terribly hard to do even if you don't, though. Another golden coin. Got an EIDO test on Saturday. I've got to start studying up my terminology. I've got about 10 words in Japanese I need to learn. I have a one of those cram flashcard apps on my phone I use to practice. But this is the big brown belt test, which is like the last kind of normal test. The black stripe and the black belt tests are more involved. Oh, jeez. Just like the cape in Super Mario World, the rabbit ears are probably overpowered. Oh, okay. Small Mario. Oh. Hey there. What's going on in Korea, Amiga Bong? I hear South Korea and Japan are not getting along too well these days. I suspect that you've got a seat at the negotiating table. You can tell them to get it together. Look at these guys. I always thought they looked like Muppets. What are you talking about, Amiga Bong? Yeah, you know, people would ask me all the time. They're like, "Aren't you afraid of North Korea?" And you really, when I was living over there, obviously, you can't really be scared of that and be a productive citizen over there because I mean, it's just yeah, it's over there, and it's you know, but that threat has been there for a long time. You just deal with it. Oh, shoot. Well, that's alright. Let's come back down here and grab that. Circle back around. Oh, foiled. Not really. Let's do that. That's funny. Oh, I need bad guys. There we go. Alright, 3 extra lives, not too bad. Of course, I lost out on the... I think this is the first bell I've missed. Ah. Cheap and unfair. I don't really recall seeing a lot of that stuff in Korea anyway. I mean, it's because I think I just didn't live near enough a major city. But I mean, other than your, Japanese branded products that you find at the supermarket and like Family Mart, of course, is Japanese. I think it's Japanese. Oh, when am I going to learn that you can't jump on those things? I didn't see a lot of Japanese restaurants or martial arts places. I just saw a bunch of Taekwondo places. But Ulsan was not a real bastion of diversity. I know I've asked you this before, Amiga Bong. Where are you at? Are you in Suwon? Daejeon. That's right. Yeah, we're hoping to get over to Japan this summer and tour Kyoto. I've never been to Kyoto, and I'm dying to go. What I'm wondering is if Eep might go to... She might leave early to go to Thailand. And if she leaves early, then I may meet her in Japan. And we can do some Japan touring before. I don't know, we'll probably save that for the end of the trip. That probably won't work. Oh, there's no question. Super Mario Land 1 is barely a game. It wasn't developed by R&D4, which developed all the other Mario games. It's sort of a proof of concept, like, hey, we can do a halfway decent platformer on the Game Boy, but it really is. I wouldn't call it it's as much of a Mario game as like Mario 2 is. You know, it's just sort of like slapped on there at the last minute. It doesn't control particularly well. Mario doesn't really move like Mario. Yeah, this is a much better game. Although Mario Land 1's fine. Okay, I guess I just shouldn't go down any of these pipes. And of course, Mario Land 3 is Wario Land, which is a totally different game again. Trying to think, after Mario Land 2 was the next 2D Mario game, New Super Mario Land, or New Super Mario World for the DS. Maybe so. Because I don't think there was a GBA original Mario game they just reissued. Ooh. Oh, I guess those are spikes up there. Well, this is unfortunate. I hope I can get some power-ups here. Although, blown up to this size, small Mario does look a little bit strange. Yeah, the Wario games are, you know, there's a ton of those, but the mechanic is just so much different than Mario. The way that you attack enemies and the different hats and things. And I could never get into the Wario games. Not saying they're not good, except for WarioWare, which is obviously one of the greatest games of all time. In fact, is there a WarioWare game out for the Switch? Oh my gosh! I did it again. Alright. Sorry guys. I'm losing my style here. Because if there is a WarioWare game for the Switch, then that's great news. I still play the original GBA one all the time whenever I'm on a trip. There's a couple of must-play games that I always have. I've got the Hot Shots Golf for the PSP, WarioWare for the GBA, maybe even Mario Golf for the GBA. Oh, that's interesting. Forgot about the good old card reader. I had a couple of those cards, the NES games like baseball and stuff. Some of those were real wacky. You'd have to swipe the card 3 or 4 times. What I need to do is visit another stage, like this stage, and get myself a power-up. Because I think I can, let's see. Let's travel. Oh, this is a, boy, what luck, huh? Nothing. Here goes 200 coins. Give me some 1-ups. Let's go. It's definitely getting dark earlier. It's about 8 o'clock here now. The sun is set. Okay, now I feel like I'm ready to face the witch. I refuse to use save states. Oh, jeez. Okay, witch. It's on. This time I will not get impaled by your spikes. I'll just die by your hand. All right, well that's 4 golden coins down. I think that's a good stopping point for today. Go ahead and save our state there. But I will finish this up at a later time. Thanks for hanging out this evening with me, Pishbot, Amiga Bond, Card, Pixels. Thanks, guys. It's always nice to play some games with some friends. But tonight, very, very late at night, maybe in about an hour or so. I don't know if night modern gaming tonight or not.